You said it went to the forensics bay?
Yes.
What was the purpose of taking it to the forensics bay?
There was a talk that there was a very bad smell inside the car. After speaking to Casey extensively, after listening to all the stories, after trying to follow up all these leads, obviously we started having to look elsewhere and see if we could obtain information elsewhere. And I remembered that somebody had mentioned there was a very bad odor in the car. So we asked Mr. Anthony, Miss Anthony, if we could go ahead and seize the car, look for evidence inside of it. And Mr. Anthony signed an affidavit allowing us to do so.
Did you process this car, or do you have other individuals who perform that function for the Orange County Sheriff's Office?
Currently, we have 2 crime scene investigators that are processing the car as we speak, and they've also done some preliminary processing.
All right. Can you tell the court what evidence, if any, was found in the car?
Yes. Initially on the 17th, when we had the car towed, our forensics technician met us downstairs. I actually went into the car to smell what the smell smelled like. Briefly, just before I came into the child abuse unit, I was a homicide detective for 2 years with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. And in my experience, the smell that I smelled inside that car was the smell of decomposition.
So what do you do in response to your discovery?
Now, obviously, we start working it in so far as we need to start collecting evidence. If that is, in fact, decomposition, we need to start looking at the car and finding out why that smell would be in the car.
Right. What did you do? What did you ask be done?
A couple of things. Obviously, the crime scene investigators were present. Initially, we were told that there was a bag of trash in the car when Mr. Anthony picked it up. The first thing we wanted to do was recover this bag of trash and determine whether or not that could have caused the odor. One of our investigators met with Mr. Anthony, who in turn showed him where the trash was dumped at. The contents of the trash matched what Mr. Anthony had told me earlier that morning. We took that trash also to the bay, opened up the trash to examine it to see if that could have caused the odor. In my personal opinion, the smell from the trash is definitely not that of...
Judge, I want to object. He's offering an opinion. He hasn't been admitted as an expert witness.
In a bond hearing, not in front of a jury. His personal opinion interests me. It was what?
The 2 smells were not the same.
All right. So do you ask that further testing be conducted on this car?
Yes. Our crime scene investigators are working on the car to try and determine where the smell is coming from, if it's coming from a particular area of the car. And one of the areas that they focused on now is the trunk of the car.
Why is that?
Because they found hair samples in the trunk of the car that are similar in length and color to that of Kaylee. They also found a stain inside the trunk of the car that came up under black light that's questionable and we need to process. They also found some dirt inside the trunk of the car that needs to be processed.